All right, in this little portion of this lesson, I'm going to take you through what I've decided to do with our big pour that we did together. On this 30 by 40 inch canvas, I've decided that I wanted to do something a bit different. What I did include on here that I had showed you earlier in a couple of other paintings is how I incorporate my leaf elements on my painting. But now I want to show you on this very large canvas, it's a 30 by 40 inch. I want to show you what we're going to do with the background of this painting. The main design on this canvas is our main focus, but I wanted to bring more interest as well to the background because sometimes I just like to have a little bit of texture to the painting. I added texture with these leaf-like elements. I wanted to bring a little bit of interest into the background. And so that's what I'm going to share with you today on this particular painting. What I went ahead and did on all of the white background, I took my hands with gloves on them. I put some gloves on and I went ahead and squeezed out some gesso. I took the gesso and just squeezed it out on the background, and that gives you some texture. And I swirled it with my gloves on to give me that swirl look on the background of the painting. And that's where you can see some texture that I've built up all on the background of this painting. And now I'm in the process of cleaning up where the gesso had been laid down. It's a slightly different color than my white background. And so now I'm going to take my white background that I started with, my house interior paint, and I'm going to just touch up. I've already started adding the paint on top of the gesso. You have to let it dry completely. And then you come back with what color you want on top of the gesso. I didn't sand it or anything. And now I'm just taking this paint and I'm adding it to the background where I missed it originally. So I'm just dipping my fingers right into it and I'm applying it on my canvas where I didn't get it before. And I'm still adding that circular motion with my fingertips. And I am just adding it to the canvas background, just like this. It's really simple, really easy. If you get it over the edge, just wipe it off and you just let it dry. You can add as many coats as you want and you just simply add more texture to where you want it. And that's what I did to this large piece that we painted earlier together. This painting actually took, before I could actually do this piece of it, it took a good 6 days to dry. That's a lot longer than normal, but I wanted to make sure that it was, in fact, completely dry. And so there you have it, just a little bit in those areas that I need to cover up the gesso because it is in fact a different color. And for the most part I did get it, but I wanted to show you that this is all you have to do to enhance the background just a little bit, add a little bit more interest and some definition, and it gives the whole painting a little bit more depth. So I'm looking in those areas where I did not cover the gesso as much and just adding a little bit of, it's a thin layer, but you can do it with your fingers. And you just let it dry. And it really gives this painting a little more depth. Now, some people don't like the background having the texture, but I do sometimes. I've done this process before and it's come out, so I knew I could do it again. And I kind of like it on these larger paintings. You can get really close. If you get to where you're covering your painting, you just kind of wipe it off where you got it on there. And that's about it for this painting. I think it really came out nice. I added those nice leaf-like elements to this painting. It really just is, it's simple, and yet it really just added to it. It gave it some depth because I did that same process using the gel medium first, and then on top of that, I added just some black, some Mars black, and hand painted that right over it. Now these leaf elements right here that I did paint on here, I actually just painted. I didn't have a template, so I just kind of painted them on there. And I had drawn out a sketch prior to kind of what that element should look like. And you can see that I did hand paint. They're not perfect, but I didn't want them to be so perfect. It's abstract, and I want them to just give, you know, just some element of depth. It's got a raised edge. These are all dry, and it's got a raised edge, so it's that 3D look. And yeah, I think it just came out really pretty. So this is just something that you too can try on your own to just bring your paintings to the next level, to a new height of dimension, and just give it some more interest. You can play around with it. And you know, this way that I just showed you, if your background didn't come out as smooth and beautiful as you would have hoped, you can do this process to it. And you can turn it into a beautiful piece of art. Yeah, I appreciate you guys being here and watching this process. I hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you so much. All right, guys, here she is, this big, beautiful painting that we did together. Boy, she's a pretty one. She fills the whole canvas so nicely. We did a lot of different things on this one, in addition to that beautiful botanical technique and the design we created. She's very organic looking. The colors look gorgeous, contrasting, a background that has some texture, as well as giving her texture on the leaves. These are the opaque black leaves that we did. Oh my goodness, I'm so thrilled with how the focal point looks in this one and how these leaves came out. You guys let me know what you think about this one on this big canvas. Very simplistic looking for the leaves, but just added enough where it took that botanical Dutch pour technique and that whole design to another level. So you too can take your paintings to the next level by incorporating different elements like this that I've shared with you here. So let me know in the comments below what you think about this beauty and the color choices that we've made. She shimmers in the light, and that background just adds a whole new dimension to this painting. So there she is. I'm so proud of her. All right, guys, until next time, we'll see you later.